Now, etolls go live in exactly a week's time. The controversial system certainly has its detractors. One law firm has already offered to defend the first non-compliant motorists as a test case. This follows a warning that those who don't pay their etoll bill within 7 days will be handed over to debt collectors. Sanral spokesperson, that's the South African National Roads Agency spokesperson, Vusi Mona, is now with us here in the studio. Vusi, good morning. Thank you very much for coming in.
Good morning. Good morning.
Firstly, just from my perspective, just to get an overall picture, you guys are ready. It's all systems go from your side.
We are indeed ready. The system was supposed to have started last year in April. We've had more than 18 months to refine, review the system. So from a technology point of view, it's all systems go.
Now, some critics have said that administering this system may be a nightmare for you. What's your view on that? How are you going to manage to administer this?
Well, it's people who are sitting outside Sanral. They've never been inside our offices. They've never been to the operations center in Midrand, which is a very sophisticated center. Everything is automated. We must not, as South Africans, undermine the intellectual prowess resident in this country when it comes to IT. So the system that will be operating is highly automated, and administratively it shouldn't be a burden.
Okay, I live in the Free State. I'm driving to Polokwane from Bloemfontein with my Free State number plate. I don't have an Etag. I don't have to buy one because I don't live in Gauteng. How do you bill me?
Well, we've got data of every motorist in the country. It is located in our operations center. So as you go under the gantry will tell us that you've gone under, and it will bill you automatically.
Yeah, but how do I get billed? Do I get a statement in the post? Do I get an SMS? Do you take money from my bank account even if I'm not registered? No. How do you bill me as a non-Gauteng resident who doesn't have to buy the Etag?
We have all your details. So we'll send you an invoice to say you've gone under our gantries, you've used our system, you've got 7 days to pay.
Now, that's the post, most likely.
Yes.
Now, I've got 7 days to pay from the date I receive the invoice in the post, or from 7 days from the date that you issue the invoice?
It's actually 7 days after the first day you've gone under the gantry. And there are notices, so it's not like you're going to wait for an invoice to know that you are supposed to pay.
You as Sanral must know something I don't know. You must have full confidence in our postal services. I'm here to see a postal letter arriving in my postal address within 7 days of being sent.
You mean the South African Post Service?
Yes.
There's many postal services that we're going to use.
So you're going to spend money using courier companies?
We will indeed, but the cost of following those who need to be followed is not going to be borne by those who are compliant. You would have gone under again, so you'd have seen that I've got 7 days to pay. If you don't do that, we'll follow up, and the cost of following you up is going to be borne by yourself. Are you
seriously going to hand me over to debt collectors for not paying R2.50?
Well,
R2.99?
Well, it's not really R2.99. You should look at what the tariffs are.
Yeah, I'm just saying, because you've got different gantries around Gauteng. Some of them are R2.99. I've gone from one on-ramp to the next off-ramp, and I've only done R2.99.
Right.
Within 7 days, I get a bill.
Right.
Then I must pay.
Yes.
Are you going to hand me over to the debt collectors for not paying the R2.99?
Most certainly, we will do that. And what you'll need to pay then is not going to be the published tariff. Is going to be 3 times higher because there is a cost of collection. Yeah. And it's not worth it that at the end of the day you've got to pay 3 times higher.
Yeah. Now, I just wanted to understand, that I'm sorry just to be a little bit like practical, because I mean these are the realities. People don't drive all the time on the highways from point to point. Some of us will be driving to Pretoria and back. You know, the money can be more. Now, this whole thing currently, the timing of it, some people have questioned it. 3rd December. Going into the festive season, we know how tough the economic environment has been. We know how tough, how debt overburdened South Africans are currently. I mean, did that cross the mind of the organizers of the etolls?
There would never have been an ideal time to launch the system. In fact, we think the festive season is ideal, particularly in Gauteng.
Is it because you're going to make most of the money?
No, it's not because of that. If you look at the highways in Gauteng around this time, they're actually empty. People go to the coast. So we think it's ideal because there's not a lot of traffic on the road.
Okay. Now, I have an Etag. I bought it a while back before the whole protest action start. What do I do now between now and next week? Do I have to go back to one of your shops? Can I go online? What do I need to do? When my Etag was activated months ago before the whole protest started.
Well, if it was activated, you don't have to visit our shops because you're already in the system. As you go under the gantry, it will automatically bill you. You would have told us at what point do we alert you to say that your balance is going down when you purchase the Etag and register the account.
Okay, just a practical final one. I mean, you're starting on the 3rd of December. Many people will be billed by the middle of the month. I'm sure you're going to be billing us all the time. You said within 7 days of passing under the gantry and just before Christmas. I really wonder, you know, it's tough times. I mean, is it fair, you think, on consumers?
Look, it's tough times throughout the year, given the economic recession that the whole world is still trying to recover from. So as I said earlier, there would never been an ideal time. If it was going to be January, people were going to say, but you know, kids are going back to school, we don't have money. There would never been an ideal time.
How many people have registered?
We've got over 707,000 Etag users who are currently on our system. What are you
targeting?
Look, there are 2.5 million users of the network. Ideally, we want to get there at that 2.5 million.
Yeah, and you are ready to face any legal battles that may come up that nobody thought of, like this lawyer who's saying is going to use as a test case for the first motorist who will be taken by you.
We live in a constitutional democracy. We are not faced by threats of a legal challenge. In fact, we think it will strengthen our democracy if there's a test case about the constitutionality and the legality of what we are doing.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Sanral spokesperson, Vusi Mona.
News that moves. eNCA.com.